The last thing anyone wants is to be used. If you've ever wondered whether the guy you're seeing has genuine interest in you, or you're wondering if he's maybe using you, then by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what to look for. I'm going to go through 7 things a guy does when he's just using you, so you'll never ever be in doubt again. Before we get to that, I am having one-to-one sessions, so if you want to level up your love life today, then click that link below. So the first thing that a guy does is that he tries to see you last minute most of the time. This is a big sign that a guy is just interested in spending time with you in a casual way, or only when it's convenient for him. This will also reflect that when you ask to see him, he doesn't really make the time to see you, or he doesn't give you any alternate dates either. Yet when he wants to see you, he wants to see you almost immediately. And he almost expects you to be free. If a guy is only doing last minute meets, then it means he's not taking what you have seriously. But of course, he keeps coming back because he's interested in that one thing. The next thing a guy does when he's just using a girl is when he goes long periods without texting you. I don't mean days, I mean weeks. Now, to be fair, when someone doesn't text us for a while, it could mean a number of things. You know, maybe he's just really busy, he's got a lot going on at work right now, maybe he doesn't have the time to see someone, so he doesn't want to start building that rapport until he can make time for them. But the most common reason, usually in this situation, is that he's just not making time to text you because he's not interested in talking to you outside of it leading to sex. When a guy is putting in 0 effort in messaging a girl, it means that he's really not interested in building the foundation for a relationship. Everyone knows that a relationship can't be built from just the odd text here and the odd message there. It takes consistency to build something with someone. Now, it does mean something if he's not a texter, but he calls you, because in that sense, he is making the time to actually communicate with you, because some people just aren't texters. And if I'm being honest, I'm one of those people. I would much rather have a call every other day than to be texting constantly all day, every day. I don't have time. But if there's no effort in initiating communication from his part, it means that he's not really thinking about what you guys have. And let's be honest, everyone is on their phone frequently nowadays. If it takes him longer than a few days to get back to you, he's not looking to build anything. The next thing a guy does is that he never takes you on a date. So here's the thing. This is the biggest telltale sign. And this can be confusing because maybe he has taken you out on dates before. But what you have to ask yourself is, did he take me up on dates up until the moment we started having sex? And then from that point, he's not really taking you out on a single date again. Just because a guy is just looking for fun, that doesn't mean he won't play the part until the fun begins. When a guy is just using a girl, him taking her out on dates is just getting her to the point that she becomes a sexual option for him. And once she is a sexual option for him, he sees that his investment is done. And it's at this point, when you've just started to have regular sex with him, that you'll see his effort for you becomes very minimum to try and just maintain you as an option, which includes only texting on occasion and not actually taking you out on dates. Which goes into the next thing that a guy does when he's just using a girl is he never meets with you in public. Not taking you on dates is one thing, but never meeting with you in public is a whole other kettle of fish. This is exactly how men back in the day would treat their mistress. He only sees her behind closed doors, no one actually knows about her, and he only sees her and gives her attention when he wants something. It's a huge sign of a lack of respect for wanting something with a woman. And if I'm being completely honest, times when I've seen guys be like this with a woman, it's usually because he's in a whole other relationship that he's trying to hide from her. Because of course, he doesn't want to risk being seen with someone else. This isn't something that you should accept or tolerate, especially when you're wanting something more significant. Next thing a man does is he leaves after sex or gets you to leave after sex. If he makes some excuse as to why he can't stay, or he makes some excuse as to why you can't stay, especially if it wasn't discussed before you actually met up that time, that is a huge red flag. Like, how can he invite you over, you do the deed, and then suddenly he's like, oh, by the way, you can't stay because I have to be up early in the morning. And it's fully intentional that he didn't express this to you beforehand, because he knows there'd be a chance that you wouldn't come. Or if he comes to yours, this can be masked if he tells you beforehand, but usually he'll tell you this on the day. When we're seeing someone and we're serious about them, if they invite us over for the evening and we can't stay, and we usually do, that's something that we communicate beforehand while arranging the plan. Like, oh yeah, babe, I'd love to come for dinner, but I can't stay the night because I do have work early in the morning. Something like that. That's completely fine, and that's not necessarily a red flag. But if you've already solidified plans of him coming over, and then on the day he's just like, oh, by the way, I can't stay, that is definitely something to keep an eye out for. And part of the reason why he'll only tell you on the day last minute is because he really hasn't given any thought to meeting with you, until it was about to happen. So if you recognize this sign, run. He is not for you. Next thing a guy does when he's just using a girl is he says he doesn't want anything serious. Now this seems obvious at face value. He's openly communicated that, but yet you also said that you are looking for something more substantial, which is great, right? But here's the caveat. Even though you've both expressed that you look for something different, he still makes a significant effort in trying to date you. And this is really confusing because you're like, okay, I've said I want something serious. He says that he doesn't, but if he is pursuing me, then clearly he must want something serious because he wouldn't pursue me unless he did, because I've told him that. But what this is a guy not listening to what you said that you want and him trying to still pursue it in the way that he sees fit. And if we're being honest here, the parallel is when a girl continues to sleep with a guy when she knows he doesn't want anything serious because he said that to her. But the reason she's doing it is because she's trying to change his mind. And this is a guy trying to change your mind. He knows that you want something serious, but he still wants to pursue to keep you as a casual option. And a guy will only really do this when he thinks that you're into him more than he's into you. So he thinks he can get away with it. Now here's the thing. It takes two to tango. So there is a level of responsibility on your part to not give him that romantic and sexual attention when you know he's expressed that's all he wants. He might have openly said that he doesn't want anything serious, but that doesn't mean he won't still try and have something fun with you. This next thing a guy does when he's just using you is he doesn't remember the things you've told him. Men show their investment through their mental energy with a woman, not their physical energy. Physical energy is sex, physical touch, cuddling, all of that. Mental energy is having conversations, being thoughtful and mindful of the other person, and remembering things that they have told you. If a guy's just using a girl, then he's going to be expending as little mental energy on her as possible. And one way this shows is him not remembering things that you've told him before. He's not really paying attention to who you are because all he's thinking about is what you can do for him. So definitely keep that one in mind. If you're looking for a guy who sparks up your love life, make sure you subscribe to this wonderful tribe. And as always, keep it slick. Pow.